a nice recording here
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll
in the
bring
key of
Craig on
G.
then.
Paul, you remember how to do this?
Yep.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, that's. Do we talk about that? Like, Paul's back. Paul's back, thankfully.
What's up?
Yeah. And I think Charlene may have.
Now recording.
All right, there he is. We got Craig on now, so we can get going. Welcome, everybody. It is September 6th, 2023, the Aladdin Community Call. Glad to have everybody here. Going to be kicking things off here. We've got Paul
Yes.
back in the house. What's up,
Paul
Paul?
is
Yo.
back. Glad
I
to
miss
have
you
Paul
guys.
back. I wonder if Charlene's glad to have Paul back. I think she appreciates his Twitter work more than she appreciates my Twitter work.
No, I follow the Twitter and it's been perfect.
It's
Uh-huh.
perfect. That's pretty high
Well,
standard.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, anyway, it's in any case, it's well, I'm off shift now. I can go back to like periodically shit posting through the main accounts instead of being responsible for the meat.
All right.
Where should we start? Where should we
Yeah,
start, K-Mets?
let's just pop off with the FX here. Let's get
The big guy.
The
big guy.
the protocol of the moment, I guess.
The elephant in the room.
Yes.
In a good way. That's usually got a negative connotation. Anyway, so I posted. Let's start here. I posted an update, an FFX update in the Discord, in the FX Announce channel, and that was kind of where is it? What did I write? Here we go. That was a lot of that was just stuff that we talked about in previous community calls. So for people who listen to the community calls, or people who come to online, there wasn't too much new in there, although there was as there's people popping into the Discord and everybody's concerned about when's the TGE, and we're kind of conscious of the fact that we've delayed the TGE longer than we had initially planned to, right? Like obviously the TGE was scheduled for earlier than Curve had that sort of that what would you call that, a whoopsie-doo, K-Mets? Would you call that
I mean,
an
that's
oopsie-doo?
it was a Viper issue. Yeah.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But like the main impact was Curve, and so that's obviously a big problem for us. We build heavily around the Curve ecosystem, so we pushed the TGE back a little bit. People are very, of course, antsy and keen to get going. So what we had done is we opened up a few days where we said, listen, if this is not working for you, we realize that this is later than we originally planned. If this is not working for you, you are welcome to exit your position, the IDO position. We were basically offering refunds. We would refund anybody if they wanted to. We opened up a window for it. There was not actually in the end a lot of interest in that, as it turns out. K-Mets. It looks like people mostly were looking to complain as opposed to actually exit. So we didn't end up with any single taker in the end. And now I should expand a little bit. This whole refund business, the reason that we could easily offer it is because we ended up having more people knocking on the door looking for tokens. And we're gonna have more to talk about that at a later date. But basically there were buyers, sort of like there was a queue of buyers lined up. So if anybody actually was looking to exit, it was not going to be a problem in any way for the protocol, because we would just basically allow the queue of new buyers to scoop up the sellers' exited tokens, right? Basically, just let them take over that position. And unfortunately for those new buyers, there were a grand total of 0 tokens available for them.
Yeah, there was some thin liquidity there. Thin liquidity. It was not a liquid market, which is nice to have people be understanding and want to stick around with us here. We're obviously like Aladdin's eye of Sauron attention is all over FX right now. FOFX right now. God, you guys are polluting me. And so we're pushing ahead on that, and the window is the window for offering those refunds. We offered it for like a few day period. I mean, nobody else has really made any kind of noises about wanting them. So I think that chapter is basically closed, and we can look ahead to the actual TGE, which will hopefully be soon. But we'll talk about that in a sec. Yeah. So,
the refunds are kind of completed. We've gone through that, and so now, we've got these curve pools up, FETH, CRV USD, and the XETH LPs. Basically, now that they have gauges, FX can now start to incentivize and bribe for curve emissions to those pools, and so this next epic, this convex Vodium epic of starting the September 14th, we're going to start bribing for that. So
all right, so a little bit of, and that'll be interesting, as we've talked about before. That'll be the first opportunity to farm FETH outside of the FX protocol.
yeah, and get some legit rewards, and I guess we'll have the concentrator pools up as well. So you'll be able to.
Yeah, exactly. We'll spin those up so that that if you want to get into those in like an optimized kind of earning and compounding A curve, then you'll be able to do that through concentrator as usual.
Yep. So that'll be in the next I guess week and a half, 2 weeks here. So starting up pretty soon.
Yeah, keep an eye on those. Keep an eye on those rewards, folks, and we'll tweet once those become available on Concentrator as well to let everybody know. As usual, the normal warning for Concentrator pools is that the performance of the pool is based on the total TVL, and so if you're the only person who's deposited in a pool, it's not going to be efficient for you. It's not going to harvest any more frequently than if you had just done it yourself. But it does the transaction for you, but it would take a very long time to build up enough to trigger that harvest. So keep an eye on the TVL for the pools that you deposit in, especially if you're depositing smaller amounts.
Yep. So just be aware of that. Additionally, we've got like some code review that's still in audit for some of the new features that we've spoken about here. So
some critical stuff, a few under the hood changes, particularly to support our later alpha leak that we're going to give a vague alpha leak. So there's some important code in the audit right now, and we are waiting for that. We're waiting for those results to come back. Obviously, Aladdin does not deploy code to mainnet that has not been audited. So that is a non-negotiable. So as soon as that audit comes back, we're going to get that code live. And I'm going to skip one item ahead here and say that, so the big news, if you're looking for information about the TGE, it's this audit is the main. We got a couple of T's to cross and I's to dot, but getting the last of the audited code back is the main impediment right now. It's the main thing that we are waiting for to proceed. So it is a near future target. We are not delaying this indefinitely. Just trying to get everything lined up here to kick it off again.
Yeah, and so just so everybody, I mean, like the team we're excited to move forward as well and get the TGE going and get everybody what they paid for. So, but security's priority one around here, and
it is, and I mean,
everything
you gotta.
is important.
And launching a token is delicate business. I wrote this in the post that, like, haphazardly, you want to try to make sure that the message is out and that the sort of the market is warmed up, because it doesn't do the protocol or the token holders any good to like misfire on a token launch, right? To launch it into chaos of like some other bigger news, or unfortunately we have to live in this world of like human attention, and the attention span of the average crypto person is measured in milliseconds. So we really need to make sure that we're not competing on there too. So it's just something we're trying to. This is not our first rodeo in terms of token launches, and so we're trying to put the lessons learned from all previous launches, use those to make this the best success we can.
Yes. So. All right. Should we talk about one?
Well, no. There's
change?
one. Oh yeah, the ticker change.
Yeah, the one you skipped there.
Oh yeah. So there's a minor change, and this is something we're going to have to communicate very carefully. So there's been a request from one of our partners to not proceed with ticker FX to make it something a little bit just to help to help separate us a little bit more from FXS, which is of course Frax share. And so we're going to actually launch with FXN as the ticker. So sort of like function, FXN function, or FX network, I suppose you could also think. But ultimately, this is kind of important, and I think it's something that we're going to need to be really careful with the messaging on, because whenever you launch a token, there's going to be scams and copies and whatever else. So we're gonna make sure that it's clear. Obviously, when the time comes, we're going to post all the addresses, which is the most important thing. But just so everybody is clear, there is an official plan to proceed with ticker FXN.
Yes, so that's a bit of a change than from what we originally planned, but that it sort of dovetails into sort of the this little bit of gosh, I don't even want to call it alpha, more like a hint or something like that.
Yeah,
that we
there's
kind of
there's a
plan
shape. So
here.
we have been brewing up a big partnership that I think the community is going to be really excited about. And it's from our new quiet, as yet unpublicly announced partners that this change request was for the token ticker. And this is going to have pretty big implications for the token, and I think for the protocol too. So I don't think we can really share any more than that right now until we get all of the details hammered out with our new partners. And but I think this is going to be a very exciting piece of news for people who have been following along, and I also think that it's going to really help with the marketing and getting message out for the TGE. This kind of a cooperative partnership is something that should hopefully get this token back onto a lot of radars, right? Since it has been a while since the offerings and stuff. So a nice big piece of news to help sort of jostle people out of complacency and remind them of this project is a great thing to help with the token launch.
Yep. I'm scared to say even more, so I'm just going to keep
Yeah.
on moving. Yep.
Well, exactly. I mean, it don't. Yeah, I mean, don't blow this for us, K-Mets. You can't
No,
leak
no.
it, but we
Yeah.
can.
No. Definitely
But
not
we
going to do
can.
that.
No, I will do that. That's my job here, is to be the one who accidentally says things I'm not supposed to. But let's just put it this way, that there's news brewing. We're going to get it all. We're going to have everything all line up with the TGE. So hopefully we get a nice big piece of news, audit results, and the TGE.
Yes.
All for one big sort of fireworks, and
So it's
and get FX off on the right foot.
yeah, it's
token-wise.
kind of funny. Like, I mean, just with the market being just complete trash and everything, like
It
just
is, yeah.
the amount of like building that's going on and things going on that partnerships and whatnot. It's kind of amazing. Like things haven't stopped. So
No, they haven't. Although it seems like most of people's attention right now is on things like Twitter beefs. So I think
oh,
that
it's so depressing to open
it
that
is
app
depressing.
now.
Yeah, I
Or
don't
whatever
even.
you call it.
I
Oh
do not.
God.
I don't even. I hardly monitor it anymore. Mostly, I
Yeah.
just.
It's like who's gonna get in a fight with who this week? Oh
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah.
Come on, gang.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway.
But you know what? Not us. Not us. We are not beefing on Twitter. We are building on Ethereum and maybe other L2s. We've talked about that too. We are still haven't got this on our list, but we are still having discussions and exploring options for how we can get F of X available on L2s. And we've definitely had some interest in that, and we've had some discussions about that. We recorded, actually it hasn't come out yet, but K-Mets, you and I recorded a podcast with DeFi Dad and Nomadic on, I guess they call it the Edge Pod.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, one of the things that they were curious about was just like, what's the L2 plan? How do we get this off of mainnet? How do we get this into a place where people can really like dig in and use it, especially once the next bull comes back? And that's something that we're thinking about. We are definitely targeting having that available as soon as possible. So not to worry about that. That's something we're focused on.
Yep. It's slowly but surely.
Yeah.
So all right. Well, I think that's kind of all the FX stuff that we have for this week.
Yeah. And it's a lot. Like, I mean, that's 1 week's worth of stuff. I think we gotta give props to especially the team on the back end too, who's doing a lot of this stuff, and Charlene, like it's tough too, because a lot of times we come onto these calls and remember what we're sharing here is what's available to share sort of publicly, right? And there's not always, like, despite the fact that there's always stuff happening in the background, it's not always the right time to talk about it in one of these community calls. And so the fact that even of the public facing stuff that's ready to go, we can fill an hour up every week is pretty awesome. I think we're doing all right.
Well, I don't think we need a whole lot to fill up an hour each week.
Well, no, I could.
Just...
we could fill up an hour discussing my preference on pens.
Oh, now, okay, you have piqued my curiosity, but we must keep moving forward now. All right. So
it's just
what? Okay.
I just say it's just you're just gonna end up having to spend more money. So I wouldn't.
Look, man, it's inevitable. So
yeah,
it's just there's always another rabbit hole.
You're still enjoying that keyboard, though, I bet.
I love it. It's awesome. This is amazing. I'm just
buttery.
All right. It is a delight to type up the newsletter on it.
All right. What's next? Concentrator, I think.
Yes, sir. So this week, if you haven't gone over to the Concentrator lock tab, if you have VECTR, highly recommend you go over and click on that and take a look at the cumulative rewards for this week, because it is completely off this planet.
Well, it's a juicy one, right? We said this was coming, and I think that's we had a big chunk from the ASD curve harvest that's been, of course, concentrated into a curve for revenue distribution, as we have discussed in the past. But this is as promised. It was that revenue is going to be a big week as we make that harvest. And indeed, it was.
Yeah, so you're looking at about 39,000 A curve. So
spicy.
Gonna be a nice little APR for this epic. So I mean, you can't expect that all the time, obviously. Like
no, it comes in, it goes. But as always, when you get your revenue distributed in a compounding token like A curve, you just put your feet up and let it keep doing its thing. You do not even need to claim. Claim at your leisure, because your A curve is going to be compounding and earning whether or not you claim it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, even if it's like in your wallet, or if it's in the lock tab, or on the vault or whatever, it's all number go up technology. So
don't matter.
Cool.
Don't matter. I mean, the price doesn't always go up, but your number of A curve, that's always, or no, not your number of A curve. Well, your number of A curve is going up as you are harvesting rewards, and the number of CVX curve that your A curve is worth is always going up. So
it's always number go up. It's just which number you look at.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's some subtlety there, but
correct. All right. Well, I mean, that's about it for Concentrator.
That's Concentrator. Really. Let's talk about Clever. Clever had an shall we say, an interesting one this time around. Round 52 is finished, but there was some Vodium drama.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Charlene, you were following this pretty closely, so help me here. I'm not sure that I fully got what happened. So one of the OGN rewards in one of the pools that was bribing was the rewards were like they were assigned to the wrong pool. Is that what happened?
Yeah, they deposited into the wrong gauge. They deposited that for WBEs.
Oh.
Right. So yeah.
So
and then last minute, right? And so Vodium just made an announcement on Twitter, right? Hey guys, this money is for O ETH pool. It's not for WBEs, right? So a lot of people didn't move their vote on time.
Right. I see.
Right.
So it was and of course when you don't have your votes lined up correctly, that was going to be a pretty serious hit for us. And I think Vodium even tweeted that we were the largest. Clever was the the largest voter in that case that was going to take a hit. And so one of the nice things here, and I'll just spoiler alert, everything worked out in the end, and Vodium made us whole, so that there was no loss at all on that vote round. And that's if you want to, well, I'm going to take a little detour into the power of collective action here, KMETs, because if I had my, generally I am also a CVX holder. I have 1.8 CVX locked, and I'm voting with that for bribes. And if I had made the wrong vote in that case, as a shrimp, I don't think I would have had any. It wouldn't have had any help. But when we're all together here in Clever and making big votes, it kind of gives us a little bargaining power to put a little pressure on and say to Vodium, like, no, this was unfairly run, and we would like it to be fixed, and indeed it was. So that was kind of a bonus to people who are using Clever. You've got Charlene in your corner fighting for you.
Yeah, it was
And
kind of
don't
good.
get in the ring with Charlene.
Oh no!
Don't get
Yeah.
in the ring with Charlene. She'll cold cock you.
She's I mean she's definitely a plain talker, that's for sure. So I mean, and Vodium kind of realized the situation, and fortunately everybody was very courteous and understanding about it.
Yes,
and
exactly. I don't want to sell this the wrong way. This was very
Now-
much a team effort, and Vodium were, as you say, very, very courteous about the whole thing. But
I am looking.
I still
forward to
think-
Charlotte. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I still think that it's the collective power of us all being together in Clever that gives us that the ability to make sure that things are made right for everybody involved. So a little
Yeah.
side benefit to being a Clever user.
Absolutely. Yeah, and fortunately we don't have to witness Charlene have a Twitter beef. With,
Oh, yeah,
anyone
could
this
you
week over
imagine?
this.
Yeah, that would get ugly. But it's not in the curve world. Everybody's nice. So I mean, I don't think that could ever happen. I mean, in
Absolutely.
Uniswap, I'm sure it happens all the time. But
Uniswap,
but,
Sushi
I mean,
Swap,
actually,
it's nothing but just like, just
in fact does. I think happen quite often. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure it happens in
this
curve
cage
too. But
fight over there. It's just, yeah.
it's bear market. Everybody's angry.
Golly. Okay.
Okay, so that's F of X, Concentrator, and Clever. That's the update there. Minor thing. I mean, we always kind of just letting everybody know we're keeping the VEALD proposal. It's keeping warm on the back burner. We want to again, like I mentioned earlier, our eye, the eye of Sauron, of Charlaron is firmly focused on F of X, and so as soon as we get this guy over the line, get the TGE done, and give it a chance to get on its legs, we're going to be focusing on that ALD token proposal, and we haven't really gone over it. I talked about it a while ago, and then we've kind of left it a little bit on the back burner, and I'm not going to bring everything up again. We'll bring it to the front again when we're ready to get there. But that's next up.
Yep.
And then the
And then-
last thing, I'm gonna let you talk about the last thing, KMETs, because we are expecting a funding extension from our A team coming pretty soon. Give me a sense of what the A team has been doing, and what you guys are proposing for this next go round, and what's changing.
Yeah. So as folks know, the A team's sort of like the in-house we're kind of like the outreach arm of Aladdin DAO, sort of the
Yeah.
in-house media team. Basically one of the goals is basically just to produce consistent content. You can have the boosters, but the boosters are incentivized by the rounds themselves. So there could be kind of an uptick and a downtick in sort of like the amount of content produced between those rounds.
And it's all voluntary too, right? The boosters,
Sure.
they work when they feel like it, and they they kind of there's not a lot of consistency, as you say.
Yeah, you can skip a round
Necessarily.
or two or whatever. Yeah. And but the A team is meant to be sort of purposeful, consistent, constantly, kind of like, educating folks and keeping kind of Aladdin sort of in the zeitgeist, I guess, of
Keeping the fires burning.
something like that. Yeah. So we've gone through our initial 6 months kind of trial run, I guess you could call it, and we've kind of have hit all of our marks that we set out to do originally. So the team is excited to kind of propose another 6-month run, and we'll keep doing a lot of the same things we're doing now with some of the more frequent Twitter Spaces with special guests. We'll start to have like some YouTube tutorials being posted, videos. We're gonna keep the newsletter coming, and additionally, we are going to add 2 new community members to the A team:
Oh,
Meta, CVX, and Tao.
oh,
So
Meta CVX.
yeah,
That's
so he's on
that's
the
a
call. What's up, dude?
that's a big get. Welcome, Meta.
Yeah, he is a big get, man. He, and so the reason that we've are bringing them on board is because, those 2 guys have basically been with the community for a long time. They've really shown a lot of, um, commitment to producing consistent content that, is promotes the DAO, promotes Aladdin, all the products.
And
So
yeah,
go ahead.
sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead. I
Yeah.
realized I got so hung up on Meta CVX that I almost didn't even see the second name, which is Tao, who is an equally
Yeah.
equally huge member of the community. How did you get both of those guys?
Well, I mean, when you offer to pay people, they tend to enjoy that. So,
Oh.
so basically, kind of what you can expect out of those 2 guys, and we'll go over it in the proposal, is Meta he'll keep being the meme master and producing content for the A Team Twitter account, in addition to his personal account if he wants, and then
Is he the most prolific? Is he the most prolific like meme machine in crypto? He might be right now. Like
I mean, he might be.
Who does more? I don't know.
Well, if they, I mean, it would be stiff competition, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But he's definitely our number one, and
Yeah, well, I'm sure the A team has a lot of ideas about how you can harness that power, that raw power.
Yeah, I mean, basically just keeping Aladdin in the news, right? I mean, and so having those memes breaks things down very simply to understand. Like he had a great meme for FX protocol that you just look at a picture and you understand it like instantly. So that's a really like powerful skill to have, to be able to do that. And so we think that's worth having Meta on board and doing that consistently. And additionally, he's also done some of sort of like these merchandise contests, and I actually won my clock, and I got it, and it is it's a gem, man. Like I have it up front and center, and it's keeping relatively accurate time. It does not mark when the bull market will start, so that's a bit of a
that's a maybe a feature for the next one is
exactly.
an alarm,
So we'll have to
a
get
bull
that.
market alarm.
Yeah, exactly. So so we'll be doing those probably monthly. These cool merchandise contests. So that's something that Meta is going to kind of run and be the ringleader for. And then for Tao, we're really excited to have Tao because he is kind of be our link to the Chinese language community, and he is going to be hosting like once a month Chinese language Twitter Spaces. He's going to keep translating the newsletter. And additionally, he's also going to contribute an article to the newsletter once a month about, kind of a more technical nature, because Tao has a background in sort of software development. So maybe you can start to expect like some news articles about like how the smart contracts are put together and how they're run, and sort of some more technical, real nerdy, cool stuff that kind of like you have to be deep into DeFi
in the
kind of
weeds.
like,
You got to be in the weeds. Well, there's a lot of us in the weeds. So
yeah.
I think that's pretty awesome. I'm planning now. Obviously, I mean, it's probably worth it to highlight like this is a proposal. It's going to go to the community, and whether the team is excited about it or not. I mean, obviously, what matters is going to be what the community thinks. And so this is going to be a little bit of a
a little bit of a referendum on how the A team has done so far. I will be surprised if anybody is able to find much fault with the way you guys have kept at it. And I mean, let's also keep in mind, I think for all the voters out there, and one of the reasons why I think the team is so I mean, obviously the content has been great, but one of the reasons the team is so sort of supportive of this is because what the A team's doing is not actually that easy to kind of keep attention and focus and try to keep that positive messaging going through the kind of depth of the market that we're in right now, which, let's face it, it sucks out there. It's really easy to not. And so big kudos to the A team. I don't want to speak for the whole team, but I'm pretty sure that everybody feels the same way that I do, that this has been a good spend for Aladdin, and that I will support the extension for sure.
That's very gracious to hear, sir. So yeah, I mean, it's a good bit of work, but it's kind of a labor of love, and it's fun to write about. I mean, I like talking about Aladdin stuff, and these are cool products, and so we like talking about them. We like the Curve ecosystem, so we like talking to other protocols, and putting Aladdin on their radar too. So
we like the stock, huh? We like the stock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the proposal will be coming in the next day or two, and
Sweet.
it'll be on the forums, and we'll post a link to it on Discord and probably Twitter as well. So get everyone's input, and just thank everybody for their support so far.
Sounds good. All right, I might make an alt and go in and just like start razzing you guys. Just start like, boo!
No, you're gonna start a forum beef. Twitter can't handle the all the beefs now.
Yeah, we're gonna let the beef spill over into the Aladdin forum. All right, you know what, guys? I think K-Mets, I think we should stop now, because we don't want to miss. We want to make sure that, especially if she brought some charts, we want to make sure that there's time for Charlene to speak and give us her perspective, which is always interesting, and it's often entertaining, and it's always a lot of fun.
Yes. All right, Charlene, what do you got for us today?
No charts and no sunshine.
Ah.
All right, I gotta go. I'm done.
All right, I'm starting a
Okay.
Twitter beef.
There you go.
Yes, I have prepared some nonsense talk again. No charts, no sunshine. Sorry, guys.
All right.
So let's get to it. There's really nothing to talk about on the market side this week. I think we just need to wait for the CPI numbers on 13th of September and to tell how the market will move next. So I came up with some nonsense this afternoon. We spent a lot of time talking about probabilities in investment before, right? We didn't really answer the question on what is probability. Right? We know the definition of it, but we don't know what is really the nature of it. Sorry, just give me 1 second. The future is a series of events assigned with different probabilities. The key difference between investors is their abilities to calculate these probabilities. So what drives the probability of an event to happen? Right? Even though we have all the information of financial markets, we are equipped with the best knowledge and insights, right? And we can also control our emotions well. We still can't get things 100% right? That happened to you guys before.
Yeah.
That happened to me, right, all the time, right? So why is that, right? So I'm going to take the risk to try to explain this, right? And I may quote some questions raised from physics, right? This is very risky. In particular, we have a real physicist on the call. I'm not able to give a scientific answer to this, right? As the topic is just too big and complex. I'm just finding it helpful that some research done in quantum physics, right, probably can help us to get closer to ask the right questions. So as a high school physics student, right, I know there are a bunch of unsolved problems from quantum physics, right? It seems the world is operating on a wave function, right? Sometimes things show up as particles, sometimes things show up as waves, right? And two subatomic particles can interact with each other regardless how far they are apart, right? So what's really out there, right? The cat is alive or dead, right? How could the communication travel beyond light speed, right? I think, right, it's all these problems are probably caused by our limited observation capabilities. So what I mean by that, right? So we live in a high dimensional world, right? And unfortunately, the factory configuration of our sensor system is only fit for the three-dimensional system. Right? Human eyes can only detect wavelength from 380 to 700 nanometers. Human ears can only detect sounds in the frequency range from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Why is that? Right? It's evolution choice. Because we only need organs and parts with just enough functionality to survive on this planet. The computational resource is scarce and consumes lots of energies. So what these limited observation capabilities imply? So think about it, right? When you take a picture, right? When we compress information from a three-dimensional object into a two-dimensional paper, we lose a lot of information, right? The same happens when we compress information from a two-dimensional paper to a one-dimensional line, right? We lose a lot of information too. So when we feed ants in our garden, it's pretty hard for them to understand where the food comes from and the complex human world about their bodies. So are we just more advanced version of ants? Very likely, right? But we have done much better than ants, right? We have been extremely adaptive and competitive throughout the natural selection process, right? We have really outperformed on these biological algorithms rat race, right? We were one of the first species got eyes and brain, right? And we give up our yields for a new organ, lung, right? From water to land. We shrunk to the size of rats when dinosaurs reigned the planet. And we became monkeys, right? When fruit ripened on the trees. And we started to stand on two legs when forests disappeared in Africa. And we really worked hard on growing our neocortex when we needed to work with increasingly complex situation as a hunter. And we made many right design choices at every turn of extinction threat, right? Optimizing for minimum energy consumption with the objective to achieve maximum chance of survival from predators and disasters. So observation capability beyond three-dimensional metrics is such a luxury, right? We didn't need it, right, for the survival game, but it will help us to understand the universe. There are a lot of, sorry guys, this is some background noise. It's okay, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. There are a lot of obstacles which cannot be solved, right? When we try to observe a higher dimensional world with a lower dimensional lens, right? Just like, you know, you can't really understand crypto right? If you see this from the old world perspective, it's just a mental model thing. And when you take pictures from different angles, you get different vision. Which one is the real one? They are all pictures. So could a wave and particle debate be just seeing the same thing from different angles? Right? Could the two entangling particles be just the same thing taken by two different pictures? Possible. We'll find out in years to come. Then people will ask, you're a financial analyst, right? Why do you think about this? Is this a sign of deep bear market? Yes. Have nothing better to do. This came from a question from my kid, right? When she put Oculus headset on for the first time, she was very obsessed with it, right? I told her it's virtual reality. And when she took it off her head, she asked me, things look the same. How do I know if this is reality or virtual reality? Right? Actually, I don't know. Right? We can only feel matter and things in existence because of electronic magnetic force, right? One of the four forces found in our world so far. If we can simulate electronic magnetic force one day, right, there's really no difference at all between the virtual reality and the reality. So before we can expand our observation capabilities to the higher dimensional world, right, I think it will happen, right, with a bit help of technology, right? And before that happens, right, the matrix we live in is probability based to us. But once we get there, right, we may find Einstein is right? God doesn't play dice. It has just been an observation problem. So what's the implication, right, of all this on investment? So even though you work so hard, right, and you get all the information right, you have the best insight, right, and you also have some insider information, right, and you do the best emotional control on yourself, right, but never all in. It is a probability based game because we can never see the whole picture, right? It's probably the tail of the elephant or the leg of the elephant only. It's just a picture. You always need to leave enough room for errors and make sure you always have capital to stay in the game. So portfolio management itself is as important as your stock picking, token picking, and market timing skills. And that's it.
So quick question.
I'm ready to take criticism.
What if your stock picking and market timing skills are bad? Like real bad.
Yeah, you're not good at probabilities.
Right. What if you're really good at buying the top and selling the bottom? I'm asking for a friend.
Are you asking for your kingmaker friend? I saw a tweet from him today.
I saw
He's
that too.
quitting the market. Yeah.
That was
Yeah, I think he all in.
Maybe so. Maybe so. I wasn't all in, but then I got a tax bill, and now it turns out I am all in. So there you go. It's
Okay, Charlene, I have to say that was very I didn't know how you were going to wrap up your conversation because it was, I don't know if you remember the website TimeCube with Gene Ray or whatever, but it was a lot of like fourth dimensional time spinning and all sorts of stuff. And
oh man, I remember that. Was a long
don't you remember? But she did it without all the racism that he had. But
right, which
was,
I mean, that's an improvement. I think that's
yeah.
that's a good it's a good change.
Yeah, but I gotta say that was a pretty impressive
Little
sort
meander?
of tie-in
Yeah,
from
little-
like sort of physics, metaphysics
Yeah.
back into finance. So
Although if I understand correctly, there's a pretty easy way to tell if we're talking about reality or not, because if you see deja vu, you know that happens when they change something. So you can tell if you're
you have to take one of those pills, one of the red pill
Yeah.
or the blue pill. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. That's
yeah.
the clue.
Again, if we can use that reference without the racism, I think it's a good upgrade.
Oh, Charlene, I can't believe you put up with us. Oh boy.
It's she's got no choice, K-Mets. It's a bear market.
That's true. Yeah, exactly.
I can be more entertaining in bull market.
Yeah, you just she's gonna give us our papers as soon as there's more people knocking on the door here to
Yep,
do our
that's right.
jobs without our
Exactly.
bullshit. But in the meantime, we have the
man.
power.
All right, it's 10 a.m. on the money here
Mhm.
in my
In-
neck of the woods. I don't know where it is everywhere else.
In Metro Texas, in downtown, rural, small town, largish city. How big is your city? Okay, Mets. Maybe you're gonna dox yourself. Maybe you don't need to tell me that, but it's
It's a
Yeah.
yeah, it's an urban area, but I mean, it's my margarita is ready to pick up here at the beer barn.
at the
so I gotta keep on.
at the beer barn.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
gotta keep on strolling through here. So
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go. Whatever. Shut up.
All right, kids. Well, we appreciate everybody, and thanks for
We
hanging
do
out with
appreciate
us.
everybody.
Yeah, it's a good time, and we'll stay in touch in Discord and Twitter and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. We sure will. Keep. Don't be strangers, everyone. Pop by the Discord, and we're gonna have more for you next week.
Yep.
Like always.
Yep. See you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you guys.
All right. Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye.